And welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original series, That 90s Show. Now, it's 1995. Leia Forman is visiting her grandparents for the summer, where she bonds with a new generation, where kids under the watchful eye of Kitty and stern glare. Red Forman and Kitty Forman are the reason to watch this series. When I heard that they were doing the sequel to the follow-up, obviously, of the 70s show, I ummed and ahed in thinking, is this going to be worth watching? Who is this for? Because if you have the 70s, the generation that was watching that 70s show 10, 15 years ago, I came into it late, but I still enjoyed those episodes. I wouldn't rank it as like my favorite sitcom watched in front of a live studio audience. The Big Bang Theory, Friends, How I Met Your Mother, all above that 70s shows, but I still enjoyed it. But thinking that they were bringing a sequel into this, I didn't know if it was going to work. The thing that drew me into it is Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo Rupp, who play Red Forman and Kitty Forman. If you didn't have them, this show wouldn't work at all. We also have the original cast kind of popping in and out, bar one, because one is under some indictments and might be sent to jail for a very long time. We won't talk about that, but other than that, most of the cast comes in and out, but you don't see them as much as you think you do, or at least the trailer alludes to. You see them very little. It's kind of like a handing of the torch. One particular character you see more than the others is actually a part of the series, which I don't mind saying. Fez you see more than the others. The thing that works is taking the bits from that 70s show that work, the sort of single camera usage when they're down in the basement and the new kind of group, the new kids on the block are having that, like they're talking about being high, but in various different camera angles. You know the one I'm talking about, facing each other, one camera angle to the next, just going bum 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 bum. Those things that made the 70s show work, they put in here as much as possible. The tongue-in-cheek jokes with the 90s nostalgia works sometimes, but mostly it doesn't. I laughed very rarely, like minimal, which made me upset because I really wanted to like this show. Nothing to do with the kids acting. It feels like the writing has had its day and they've taken what worked back in the day and doesn't quite work now. Even the audience laughter feels like canned laughter and feels out of place. Now, I did get through it. It's easy to watch. They're 20-minute episodes, taking out that intro and outro. Very quick to get through 10 episodes. And there is an arc, typical love story, the same that you would have in that 70s show. So they're literally kind of copying that formula and trying to get the audience that loved the 70s show to love that 90s show. The thing is, the new young audience, if you took the generation now for a younger generation and made them watch something that 90s, they won't really get it. But you took my generation, which really it kind of late 80s, early 90s, that is who this is meant to be for. Now looking at these young kids, it kind of doesn't work. It doesn't kind of know who it is for. It has an identity crisis. If you wanted to grab the original audience who loved that 70s show and put them in this, it just feels like maybe you needed to make it a little bit later and make the guys in the basement older and have a story revolve around that rather than a younger generation in a nostalgic 90s, because it's a clashing of two worlds that kind of doesn't work. Now for me, I love the 90s nostalgia that was in here, and that was when it worked because that was referencing something. It's like, wait a minute, I know that. The filming is the same, the acting is fine. Like I said, Kurtwood Smith, Deborah Jo Rupp, they're great, but the rest of the cast are also fun, and they have tried to modernize it in the relationships that you get here, and that's all fine. That didn't irk me. It was just that I feel like the series isn't needed, which is sad because Netflix cancels series very quickly, but they tend to give 2 or 3 seasons or 4 or 5 seasons to this type of show, but the shows of quality, they don't. And that kind of gives you an idea of what I think about this show. I enjoyed it sometimes, and I'm not saying it isn't quality, I just didn't enjoy it. I'm going round in circles. I know some people are like, yes, I totally love this. And if you do, that's fine. I just don't think it was for me. I couldn't find the enjoyment out of it that I wanted, apart from, hey, I remember that when they did that in the 70s show, which means I could go back to that 70s show and enjoy those moments. There wasn't anything, or there isn't anything that's going to make me come back and watch the second season. The cliffhanger sort of ending of who will they, won't they, isn't something that I'm eager to go back to. But I do love watching Red Forman. He is one of my favorite characters on TV. Great to see him on TV. And Kitty Forman. For them, I hope it gets a second season because I want to see them more. So yeah, like kind of straight down the middle. I'm going to give it 2.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
You got one. Congratulations.
It is what you expect it to be. This show is trying to capture the magic of their 70s by copying the formula, but making it for the 90s. But it doesn't know who it's for, really. It has an identity crisis, which makes me wonder if it ever should be made. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.